Welcome back to my channel. A while back, I put out a post on my community tab as well as on Instagram asking you if you have any questions. So today I thought, let's catch up. Let's answer the questions you submitted. Grab yourself something to drink. I'm having kombucha. This is going to be a long one, so let's dig into it. I'll have the video timestamp, so if you want to jump around, you can do that, but I hope you'll stick around for the entire video. With the fiasco that my book is going through, the book I was planning to publish earlier this year, it's a whole thing. I'll talk about it in another video, but ever since I've hit that block, it's been playing on my mind, it's been bothering me, it's taken a toll on my mental health, and I've been feeling this writer's block that I haven't felt in a long while, and I shared about it in a video recently, and I appreciate your kind comments on that. It makes me feel not alone. So yeah, thank you for that. One other way this whole writer's block has been playing out for me is my screen time has increased a lot. I have been struggling with scrolling on social media, and I feel I'm in this downward spiral with feeling unmotivated to do things and procrastinating and feeling frustrated with what's going on with my book. And that plays into scrolling mindlessly on Instagram, on YouTube. And I've been really struggling to pull myself out of it. I feel reading has really made a big difference. Reading nonfiction and fiction, it's a way to reinforce the things I already know, but in this point in time, I need someone to tell me these things again and again. So I've been leaning on nonfiction books a lot lately, but I've also been reading a lot in fiction books. I've just finished reading We Ship It, and it's by Lauren Kay. I had the privilege of speaking to this author in a different capacity, and I really appreciated her input, her insight into publishing and everything, and that kind of nudged me into picking up her book. And I must say, this is a YA book through and through, but I really liked her writing style. The book starts with a big bang. I quite enjoyed it. It's one of those books that I felt if I was a teen, I would have really appreciated it, because I didn't get to read a lot of these kind of books when I was growing up. That's one book I finished reading, and there were a few others. I picked back up The Woman by Kristen Hanna again. I had to return it early, so I couldn't finish that book. So that's another book I'm looking forward to diving back into. So there are a few things that I've been doing to help myself get out of this funk. Let's dive straight into your questions. The first one I have here is, what does your week look like? How do you manage personal life with family and work? And another question in the same vein is the ways of maintaining a balance between professional and personal spaces without compromising anyone. I personally struggle with this. I am a stay-at-home mom primarily, and I'm also building this business as an author and as a small business owner. So it's hard, but I've been trying a few things, and one of the things that has really helped me is being strong about the boundaries I'm setting, whether it is boundaries around my work or my personal life, and it can get very easy for work to bleed into personal stuff because I'm working from home, and for personal stuff to encroach into my work hours. So that's a struggle that I have. I also struggle with time management when it comes to both. I feel if I was working outside of my home, it would have been much easier. And I'm looking into ways I can do that without adding extra cost. One of the things I recently tried based off of a book I read, Cal Newport's new book, Slow Productivity, and that is doing less. And it may sound counterintuitive. Doing less makes you feel more productive and get more done. But lately I've found that has helped me mentally feel that I'm being productive and actually being productive and seeing me move forward on my projects and on my goals. So I highly recommend, if you haven't checked out his book yet, to pick it up if you are looking for something to help you with your productivity and managing your time between your work and your personal life. The next question I have is, how do you stay motivated? Honestly, I'm not. Lately, I've been really struggling with it. It's been very different from how it has been in the past, because I feel motivation comes and goes. So I have experienced a version of this before, but never so intense, never so paralyzing, which is new for me. I really don't remember ever feeling this way when it came to my work. And that kind of bleeds into your personal life also. So yeah, but I feel I'm coming around. I feel I'm towards the tail end of that fog that I feel I've been in, and the thick of it. I'm out of the thick of it. I feel I've finally come to terms with the fact that this whole writing thing is an ebb and flow, and motivation is an ebb and flow, and I'm not going to feel motivated to do things, to work on my writing all the time, and I have to work with that. The shift that I've made recently that has really helped me is focus on building a system that catches me when I go through these really dark periods with my writing and my creativity. I want these systems to be in place so that I can sit in the procrastination part of it, and then I have this whole system that will help me get out of it when it's time. The next question is writing in your 20s versus writing in your 30s. What's the difference? And I love this question. It's such a good question. I'll be in my 40s very soon. I feel I can speak to it a little bit with experience. In your 20s, I feel we all think as if we have life figured out, and we operate from that place, and it's almost arrogance. That's the place that most 20-year-olds operate from, and that's why we can take so much more risks. That's the beauty of being in your 20s. In your 30s, I feel life has thrown you enough curveballs for you to have that humility that you don't know, you don't have life figured out, basically. And you work from that place, so you are more, grounded and appreciative, and the arrogance is less and the humility is more, so that reflects in our writing. Yeah, I feel you're more grounded. At least I feel my writing feels more grounded. And of course, you've had more practice with your writing as well, so it helps mature your writing. The next question is, do you have other author friends? Yes, I do have other author friends, but not as many. And that's one of the realizations I've had recently, the importance of having face-to-face, one-on-one, in-person interaction with fellow writers and authors. And that's one of the things I want to focus the rest of the year, building local writer friends here in the US where I stay, and also reactivate my Facebook writing community. I'm having a little bit of trouble with Facebook right now, so I don't know how I'm going to get it all sorted. Keeping that aside, if you have any recommendations, any ideas how to make this happen, leave them in the comment section, or you can email me. And if you want to be my writer friend, get in touch. Let's see how we can help each other out. And the next question is, did I see it right? You have a podcast now? The answer is yes and no. So a while back, I did try my hand at starting a podcast. I used to have those episodes up on my YouTube channel. It didn't have any traction, so I set it aside and focused on other things. But recently I saw that YouTube has made some changes, and you can mark some of your videos as podcasts, and it is available now that Google Podcasts and YouTube Music has consolidated. I saw that those videos are now available in the form of podcast on YouTube Music. So yes, I do have a podcast now, and I'll leave a link if you want to subscribe over there on YouTube Music to my podcast, but you can always watch it over here as well. And I'm seeing how it goes, and if I should have more content for you in the form of podcasts specifically, because right now I just mark some of my videos that you can also listen to as podcasts. So yeah, I do have a podcast, and if you're interested, I'll have the link to it on YouTube Music. What do you do when you are feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and or burnt out? I just stop. I power down. That's what I did in February when everything went down. I really couldn't work anymore. I had a lot of things I wanted to do, but it wasn't happening, and there was no point pushing forward with it while feeling the way I was feeling. So I just took a break. And of course, I know I am privileged enough that I can take a break. I recognize that. That's what I did. I just stopped everything and I powered down. I completely disconnected from technology. That's when I did all those experiments with, not being on social media as well. And I was reading a lot of books. My experiments have been continuing since then, and I'll share more about it very soon. I'm thinking of making a video around it. I started writing by hand and I was journaling a lot. I stopped consuming as much content, digital content. So I wasn't on social media. I wasn't so much on YouTube consuming things. I was mostly reading. And I feel that's the best advice I would give you is disconnect from technology as much as you practically can. Of course, there are a lot of things that we do that requires us to have our phones and stuff, but as much as practically possible, disconnecting from technology made a big difference for me and my motivation. The other thing that really helped was creating rituals, especially around my writing. I was someone who absolutely did not believe in ritualistic things that people do before they start writing or while writing. And I often laughed it off when people would recommend it to me, because in the past that's not something that works for me. But I was so desperate that I tried it, and I am very humbled because those things really worked for me this time around. And I'll share with you what my new writing routine has been, because I feel a lot of these ritualistic things have very scientific reasons behind it. Yeah, I tried that and it worked for me, and that goes to show that there are few things that might not have worked for you in the past, or you never tried it because you think it won't work for you, but it might just work for you. So keep trying. If you're feeling stuck and overwhelmed and unmotivated, and if you have tried something in the past and it hasn't worked for you, try it again, see if it works this time around, because unless and until you keep trying, and I feel that's half of the thing that you have to do, is to keep trying and something will click. I think I spoke about it earlier, but setting boundaries and sticking to your boundaries is another thing that I had to really practice a lot. Saying that this is your work hour and this is your personal time. But when you're working from home, like I am, it's very difficult to separate the two. And I had to really be hard on myself not to keep working, because that's what I have been doing for the past few years, is keep working in these small pockets of time throughout the day, every 5 minutes here and 10 minutes there. And I felt that was adding to the burnout. So I had to really be strict about the time boundaries I had set for myself. So that was another thing. I've also started practicing distributing my devices for different purposes. So phone is for mostly personal stuff. My desktop is mostly for business stuff. My laptop is mostly for writing, and my notebooks for writing, and my tablet is mostly for learning. So I have distributed the thing so that it's a mental cue for me to know in which space I am and what is the purpose of being with that particular device. That has helped a lot. Practicing sticking to boundaries has been challenging, but necessary. Are you thinking about a career change? You mentioned something like that in your video on quitting. Not really, but I am thinking of pivoting into making it more financially sustainable to do what I'm doing. And I'm still working on how I can do that. Did you also know you would be an author? I am in my 30s and I feel I don't know what's my life's purpose. I think I don't know what I'm doing, and I refuse to believe that there's anyone who really knows what they're doing. I feel we're all flying at the seat of our pants, figuring things out as we are going. Some people might be, 5 minutes ahead. Some might be 5 minutes delayed in their figuring out what to do next strategy. But I feel it's ridiculous to think you have to have everything figured out. I don't think that's practical. Anyways, when it comes to writing, writing happened to me very unintentionally. I published my book, I would now say, a bit rushed. There was no need to be so rushed when I did publish my book. But yeah, I didn't plan to be a writer. It happened to me. It was something I turned to when I felt creatively unfulfilled. And I have a very good role model in my life, my dad, who changed his career pretty late in life. And that sort of gives me comfort in knowing that you can change your mind at any point in time. Of course, you have to still be responsible, especially if you have family depending on you. That was modeled to me that you can pivot even if it is later in life. And I feel with life experiences, you just get better at listening to your intuitions and navigating life in general. There was another similar question. This person wanted to know my educational qualification, my place of birth, and when did I start start my writing career. I did my BCom with a focus on advertising, and then I did my MBA in marketing communications and HR. I was born in Jharkhand, which at the time was still Bihar. And at a very young age, I went to a boarding school which was in Maharashtra, and ever since then I was in Maharashtra until I came here to the US. And I started my writing career in 2013, so it's been over a decade now. The next question is how to publish poetry book, and finding a traditional publisher is quite an uphill task. I'm an indie author and I can only speak from my experience, and I don't have experience with traditional publishing. In general, every publisher has their general guidelines of how to submit your work to them. You can follow that. You can also work with literary agents, which in India it's becoming more common. But what I would say is do your due diligence, research into the publishers you're working with, into the literary agents you'll be working with, because there are a lot of people who are ready and willing to take advantage of creative people. At the end of the day, it is on you. So you have to do your due diligence to make sure that the people you're working with, the publishing company or the literary agent, they're the right people for you, and they're the right people for your book. Would you kindly review the first 3 chapters of my historical fiction novel? If you're looking for a professional input, I highly recommend working with a professional editor. Having worked with a few editors now, I feel you cannot replace an editor. A good editor is very crucial to your book. They can make or break your book. In my case, at least, I would highly recommend you work with a professional editor. Having said that, if you are looking for my opinion as a person who reads historical fiction and someone who writes, I'd be happy to give you an overall feedback and in-document comment on your manuscript. If you want, you can email me and I'll share all the details with the fee and all those things. And you can see if that works for you. Maintaining the creative habit despite of emotional turmoil. I find it very hard, frankly telling you, the last few months, sorry to keep bringing it up, but the last few months were very difficult. It was almost impossible until I hit a point where I was reading a lot of books and journaling and thinking about it. I realized that there's been a shift. And lately, I've been treating my writing as this ritualistic practice, almost like an offering to God. I'm finding comfort in that. The necessity of sensitizing family and friends alike about the struggles and journey of any professional indie author. I'm not very sure exactly what you mean, but this is what I have come to realize, that in an ideal world, people would support our creative endeavors. We don't live in an ideal world, and I don't wait for my family's permission and their approval. I don't expect them to understand what I'm doing, how my professional side of things work, how the industry works, because everyone in my family is mostly engineers. So I don't put a pressure on them to understand what's happening in my industry, and I don't take it personally if they don't understand what's going on in my industry or what's going on personally with me. The only thing that we can do is the way we think about it ourselves and get encouragement from somewhere else. Be angry at someone or be disheartened by someone's inability to understand something that they just don't understand, and that's okay. And that's why I'm so eager to build this community, because this is where we can support each other, because we do understand each other's struggle. The necessity of leveraging technology in the area of art that one may not be entirely familiar with, for instance, generative AI-driven art, etc. I would say explore it, educate ourselves about it, and embrace it. It's here to stay. I made an entire video about this, authors and AI, and how I've been using it. So I'll have that video linked for you if you want to dig into it more. And this is the last one. Some other avenue or same vertical of self-publishing on KDP or Pothi, professional authors could follow to leverage their initial self-publishing investments, such as publishing journals, etc. This is where I would say creating a business plan comes in, and why, as an indie author, or if you're looking to go more diverse with self-publishing, having a business plan will help you deep dive into a lot of other questions that you are not even thinking right now. It'll help you flesh out questions like what kind of author you are, what kind of publishing goals make sense for you with your financial goals. You can get into POD business outside of writing books, but what does that look like? What's the time commitment? What are the returns? There are so many things that you need to know. So I'll be brief and say validate your business idea, and create a business plan. That'll help you answer all the other things. I always think these Q&As will be quick and fast, but it inevitably becomes long because I keep rambling. I hope I can edit a lot of jibber jabber that I do. My drink is over, and I hope you enjoyed catching up. Let me know what's been on your mind. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comment section. I'll do another one of these. Let me know if you like these style of videos, just casual, just off the cuff, talking as if we are catching up over a cup of coffee, although I'm not having coffee right now. I hope you like this video. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.